Hello, hello, hello. We are live. We are live. How is everyone doing? We are live. How is everyone doing? Okay. You know how we do here. We wait till people come in. We do a roll call. If there's any advertisements, I let you know, and then we get started. So you know how we do here. I wait till people come in. As you come in, leave a comment. Today is one of those days where we educate. You're educating today. All right. So as you come in, leave a comment. Okay. As you come in, leave a comment. Mm-hmm. Okay. And thank you for coming in. I'm just getting set up here. Mm-hmm. As you come in, leave a comment. Mm-hmm. We're going to get started because we got a lot to cover. We want to make sure that our people are properly educated about what's going on. And one of the things I don't do is, you know me, I do not follow crowds. We're going to get started right away because we have a lot of material to cover. Let's do a quick roll call, and then we will begin to educate about what's going on. Okay, so Avion, thank you. Katie, Ngozi, Charismatic Tim, Juho, Andrea, AJ, Azania, Benjamin, Andrea, Zuri, Arjo, Cindy, Mazazi, Darth, Christina, Tim, Jewel, Merlin. Thank you for being here. Now, you know how we do here. We have a lot of fun here while we learn, but sometimes there are issues that are serious. So we got to be serious sometimes. And this is one of those times where we have to be serious, right? Hold on. Let's share the screen here. Okay. Okay. And this is one of those times where we have to, we have to be serious, right? And the reason why we need to be serious, at a time like this is because this is affecting and will affect people's lives 5 and 10 years down the road. And it is important that, number one, we don't follow crowds. I educated you guys on why we don't follow crowds. Number one reason why we don't follow crowds is because I educated you guys on hives and how AI is simulating with reality, mind controlling people and getting people into groups. And the AI, they call this hive minds. So this is the primary reason why we don't follow crowds. The second reason why we don't follow crowds is we are not looking for a savior. Again, because we live in a simulated reality, they are simulating a savior. We are not looking for a savior. Pyramids, welcome. Another reason why we don't follow crowds is because we here are taught to think, reason, think on our own, not parrot anything else anyone tells us. But we come here to learn, we come here to think, and this is why I ask you guys questions. Okay, because I want you guys to be able to reason. I want you guys to be able to think for yourself, and I don't want you to be taking someone else's opinion, telling you that, you know, you do this and you do that and you do this and you do no. You're more than capable of making your own damn decisions with your own damn brains, right? Hold on. You are more than capable of making your own opinions with your own brains. Okay. All right, let me just really quickly. If you have not emailed me, only if you have not emailed me, please email me. We have a lot of material to cover. That is my email. If you have not emailed me, please email me. I want you guys to think for yourself, because there is no truth movement left. There is a Decepticon alternative media. Then there's a breakaway from the Decepticon alternative media. And I don't like the things they're saying. And anyone who doesn't give you the full truth about a story is a Decepticon. So understand, there was a massive awakening in 2020. And those at the top took over the Truther movement and brought in people from the Truther movement and made them and gave them the algorithm and are paying them handsomely to lead you astray. And as a result of them being brought into the, brought in the Truther movement, the alternative movement, brought into the mainstream, because they're mainstream now, I call them Decepticons, there is a breakaway Truther movement, but not even them can be trusted because of some of the things they say. Okay? I had an interview with Dr. Shiva. I believe where Dr. Shiva would like to go is a start, but here's my issue. My only issue with that, not with Dr. Shiva, because I don't know him personally. Okay? Here is my issue with Dr. Shiva. Making the movement just about working class, movements like that can be co-opted easily. We had working class movements in the past and they were co-opted, but that's why he does a little bit different. He teaches people about systems. And of course, there are attacks on systems. So he probably teaches them how to, mitigate those attacks on systems. Me personally, the reason why wouldn't I personally, and this is not an attack on Dr. Shiva, great question. The reason why I would personally say that it should be a people's movement and not just a working class movement, okay? Because what about people who retired? What about people who used to work and got injured? Okay, so this is why for me, I wouldn't leave out any sector between middle class, working class, and the poor. I would integrate them all. What about people who have injuries and can't work and there are no services for them? What about veterans who served their country and are now homeless? So I don't have a problem with Dr. Shiva's approach because a ground-up approach is the right way. I think it should encompass everyone who cares about their country. Right? So that's just me. But that's my personal opinion. This is not an attack on Dr. Shiva's credibility. It is not an attack on him personally. Thank you, Sherry. Okay, all right. We got a lot of stuff to cover. And as you know, it is very important that we learn to think. We cannot accept. We must think. Everyone writes, we cannot accept. We must think. Let me put it here first, and we will get. And that is what we do here. We think. We look at a wide variety of issues. And this is why I engage you guys and I ask you guys questions. The reason why I ask you guys questions is to spur you to think. Because I want you to be able to think on your own. And the most important thing going forward, listen to me carefully. The most important thing going forward is, for the love of God, anything on social media. Thank you, everyone, for writing this. This is the most important thing I need you to understand. Everything coming from social media, everything coming from television is a hive program. You're dealing with hives. Okay, so you have to be extremely careful. If you find yourself repeating something that someone said, you could be infected. The internet is dead. Well done, Tim. You got it. You following? If you find yourself repeating something someone said, you're hived. You have to know for yourself, right? The only plan you should trust is the plan for your life. And I'm going to show you why the only plan you should trust is the plan for your life. We have a lot to cover. Let's get started. Okay, first question. Okay, this is not a trick question. First question, not a trick question. I just want the answer. If I broke into a bank in order to find corruption, I don't work at the bank. No one hired me to find corruption, all right? But if I broke into the bank to find corruption, if I found corruption, was it legal for me to break into that bank? Let's say I have no legal authority to be in the bank looking for corruption. So I broke into the bank. I found corruption in the bank. Was it legal for me to break into the bank? Thank you. Avion said no. Zuri said no. Thank you. I'm waiting for the other answers. Sorry, I just drank some water. Ursula said no. Only 3 people? All right. Okay, now, here's my question. Why was it illegal for me to break into the bank, even though I found corruption? Ah, AJ. By whose laws? So basically, AJ is saying, who gave me the authority to go into the bank, correct? Is it legal? Is it a legal move? You're following? I'm breaking the law, right? So even though I found the corruption, but who gave you permission to go into the bank? You're following? Okay. It's still corruption, right? So let me ask you a question. Who's more corrupt? The corruption in the bank that I'm sure the bank knows about, or the person breaking in the bank and finding the corruption and he has no legal authority to be in the bank? So who's more corrupt? Is it the bank and their internal corruption, or the person who's breaking into the bank? Who's more corrupt? You could say none of them. You could say both of them. You could say the bank. You could say the criminal. Which one? Okay. So Jewel said, I think the person breaking into the bank is being a bad. Mazazi says both. Okay. Neither. The law says no. Heart says otherwise. Okay. Both. Ursula says both are corrupt. Depends on the perspective. Depends on the laws, right? Okay. All right. So let me ask you a question. Let me frame the question in another way. Was it trying to help? Okay, some say there's an is there an ethical code behind them breaking into the bank? Okay, so there's gray area. right? Some say both, some say the criminal, some say both. Okay, let me put it to you a different way. I'm going to ask you the same type of question, but in a different way. I want to be CEO, and the board has 5 people that they are weighing. The board of this Fortune 500 company are weighing, they're looking at 5 different candidates to be CEO. I kill all those candidates and become CEO. And now I make the company great. Am I a good CEO? I kill all the other candidates to become CEO. Am I a good CEO? That's some fifth law. You see, all of a sudden, the gray matter disappears and it becomes right versus wrong. You see the difference? Was it in a duel? Okay, no duel. Straight mafia style. Arjo said corrupt and unlawful. You see the difference? All of a sudden, it's the same question, but I changed the scenario, and all of a sudden the gray matter disappears, right? Okay, what did we learn here today, right? So we learned today, okay, it's not the end result that matters. The moral here is, it's not how you get to the finish line. If you shoot all the runners and you win, is that winning? See? So it's not the end result that matters. It's how you achieve the end result. Can everyone agree with that? It's how you get to the end of the finish line. If I'm running in a marathon and there's 10 of us heading towards the finish line and I kill all 9 people, did I win the race? Deception and subterfuge, right? So it's not just the result, it's also how you get there. This is the lesson we're being taught. How you get there and what you did to get there is equally as important, right? What's the moral lesson? Anyone who convinces you that it's okay to commit crimes to find criminality is a criminal. Can we agree with this? So if I tell you, hey, break into the bank because I know there are criminals in there, okay? We got to find the crime in the bank. And you're like, wait, hold on. Do you have any legal authority to go into this bank? No. Do you even have a bank account? No. Did anyone give you legal authority? No. Did the right people give you legal authority? No. Anyone who convinces you it's okay to commit crime, to find crime, is a criminal. Can we agree with that? Let me show you. If you're a Christian, this is how Jesus said it. Listen carefully. Jesus said, verily I say to you, if a person entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but he climbs up some other way, Jesus said, you're dealing with a thief and a criminal. You're following? So let's break that down really quickly. So what Jesus is saying here is, listen, in order to get to the sheep, right, you have to be like the shepherd and come through the gate. Meaning you got to follow the rules of entering the sheepfold. If you're going about it climbing up some other way, you're a thief and a robber. Okay, let's see what Romans says. And this is for Christians, right? Let's see what Romans says. Romans says, hey, don't let your good be evil spoken of. Meaning, do not do things in such a way that you believe it's good, but it leaves other people to be like, wait, hold on. What the hell is going on here? You following? Avion, that's called entrapment. Exactly, yeah. You understand? So they're saying here, hey, don't do good in such a way that other people will question, hey, what the hell is going on here? Your good must be done in a way that no one can contest it's good. Okay? That's Romans. Now watch this. In their Corinthians, this is what was said. Look at this. In their Bible, in 1 Corinthians 14, it says, when you do something, things must be done decently and in order. Right? Is everyone following how systems, society, governments, personal relationships must be conducted? Meaning that when you do something, it must be done in a decent manner and it must be done in an orderly manner. Why? Because you don't want indecency and chaos. But AJ, great question. We answered that question at the beginning. But what if the law is in and of itself corrupt? We answered that in the beginning. We did not say don't change the law. We said in changing the law, do it in a manner that is decent, do it in a manner that is in order, orderly. We did not say don't fight back against corruption. We said do it in a manner that is decent, legal, and orderly. Because what you don't want is you don't want to engender chaos, especially into big systems, large systems, international systems. Is that making sense? Now let's get started. This message is to MAGA. And MAGA, I'm afraid this time you have to be aware that you're being deceived. No one is saying, I am not saying do not deal with government corruption. Hey, Linda, do not deal with government corruption. What I am saying is you don't want to throw a monkey wrench into the system, plunge the system into chaos. The reason why you don't want to do this is because the United States government is not just a government that governs American people. The United States dollar controls 200 other countries. That chaos that you're plunging the system in can have a negative effect in other countries. And the backlash will land in the United States. You do not throw, I don't care how corrupt the system is, you do not plunge a system this big into chaos. Number two, chaos creates pockets of holes, vacuums. Never in history, whenever agents of chaos plunge systems into chaos, they create vacuums. Never in history have we ever seen righteousness come out of a vacuum created by chaos. Never. What we have historically seen coming out of vacuums created by chaos is tyranny. Zuri, I believe that they care because they really care. They really want to get rid of the corruption, but they're being hived and misguided. Everyone deserves a chance to be reached with knowledge. If they reject it, so what? Even there, Jesus said, you rejected knowledge. Big deal. All right, let's get into the meat of the matter. This is important, whether they listen or not. What is important is for you, so that no one deceives you. Okay? Everyone press 1. We're about to get started. What is important is the message, and the education is for them. If they reject it, so what? At least you are educated and no one is hiving you. Huh? Thank you, Tim. You leave here educated and no one is going to hive you and use you. This is what's important. All right? Okay. Do you know there are actual proper steps to audit a federal agency? Oh, the deceivers, they don't care. Now we need to know, this is education for us. Hopefully this is education for MAGA supporters as well, right? This is education for us. There are steps to audit federal agencies. We need to know who has the proper authority to audit American agencies. We need to know who Elon Musk is. We need to understand what DOGE is. And we need to understand why the actions of DOGE are illegal, unconstitutional, and constitute as borderline sedition. And I will show you today. It is not, listen to me carefully, the US economy and the US government, the bureaucracy, and I hate bureaucracy. But let me be clear, Americans. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot have the United States dollar as the world's trade currency and have a small government at the same time. You need a bureaucracy, large, to uphold the dollar as the world's trading currency. Everyone, let me know if you understand or you understood what I just said. You cannot have a small government, minimal government, and the United States dollar as the world's leading trade currency. You cannot have it both ways. The reason being is because you need the administration to keep the dollar circulating as the world's trade currency. You can't have it both ways. Make up your mind. Okay? It is imperative that Americans understand this. Unfortunately, when you're dealing with America, the American dollar as the world's trading currency, you're going to have a large bureaucracy to uphold it. I have to see the Golden Compass series. Thank you for giving me something else that I need to watch, right? All right, so let's look at DOGE's actions so far. And we're going to go into, DOGE. You already know what DOGE is, yada, 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 garbage, garbage. DOGE, invasion of government agencies. They claim they have the legal authority to do this, and I'm going to show you why they don't. DOGE illegally, and you guys know me for years. I do not play to Republican versus Democrat, liberal to conservative. You know me for years. I don't play to either side. I'm like, this, I am for the people. That's it. And I run from groupthink and I run from hives. DOGE shutdown of government agencies. It is illegal. I will show you why. DOGE's theft of federal governments. This is the worst part. Documents. This is the worst because it does constitute theft. Okay. Threats to government employees. I will show you why that is criminal. seizing of federal monies. That is beyond criminal. No accounting of monies. You cannot just shut down a government agency and no one knows where the money goes. And there are people, and of course, the conservative hive of the Decepticon alternative media are telling you this is a wonderful thing, but there's no accounting of the monies for all the agencies they shut down. There is a framework. When an agency is shut down, there is a framework if the monies were paid into that agency, where that money is supposed to go. We have no accounting of this. DOGE is seizing of federal money, no account of the money. Seizing of data. Do you know this is a federal crime? Data, personal data, government data, was moved outside of US government agencies. This is beyond horrific. DOGE is shutting down of government websites. This is another crime. We're dealing with people. We don't know if these people have security clearances. If you're dealing with financial documents, usually you have to be insured, bonded, and have security clearance if you're dealing directly with financial documents. We don't know if these people have security clearances. We don't know if they have the insurance that usually goes with financial documents. We don't know. You cannot just, work at the highest levels dealing with the finance of a country and you're not bonded, you're not insured, and we don't know your security clearance. We don't know if any of these people took an oath of office. An oath of office, or have a written oath of office. Okay? You have to have a written oath of office signed. There's none. So how do you have access to sensitive data? Okay, if you're making actions against government agency, do you know there is a communication? You're supposed to have communication channels open with Congress. There was none. Do you know it is illegal to expose what you find in the government on social media? Elon Musk found criminality in the US government, or alleged criminality in the US government, and ran and posted it on social media. This is illegal. But he's finding corruption. You're not supposed to post it on social media. You follow me? You cannot go into government databases, find things in government databases, and then run and post it on social media, no matter what the hell you find. It is supposed to go back to the specific agency, and they're supposed to run reports. And when the reports are done, they share those reports with the public. You do not find corruption in the government and run and post it in social media. This is criminal. And you bypass auditors, you bypass inspectors, you bypass the public, you bypass Congress, you literally criminalize everyone in an agency. And there's reasons why you don't do this. And I'm going to go into that in a second. Non-US citizens spearheading violations. Specific jobs in the United States, you have to be an American citizen. Elon Musk is not an American citizen. Elon Musk has severe conflicts of interest. This conflicts of interest literally disqualifies him for that job. You cannot be auditing government agencies and CEO of a social media company, still a CEO. I'm telling you how these things go. CEO of an automotive corporation. This is a conflict of interest. Why? Because you can now use the information you find in the government to prop up your business. This is why there's things called conflicts of interest. He is disqualified. qualified no matter who put him there. The conflicts of interest would disqualify him. What should have been done is he legally, he should have resigned from Twitter as CEO, resigned from Tesla, and resigned from SpaceX, taken an oath of office, sworn his allegiance to the United States, checked out to see if he's a security threat, then give him security clearances, none of which was done. After you communicate with the governor, after you communicate with Congress, you're supposed to open communications with the governors. It was not done. This is where it gets scary, and this is why I'm forced to make this video. Okay. Elon Musk and DOGE seized the US Treasury database. The US Treasury database, they put it on an external hard drive. And worst of all, they are data mining the information using an AI. AI is not secure. Why am I making this video, and why am I trying to tell you and show you these people in the alternative community are not leading nor steering you in the right direction? Because like we discussed before, anyone that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up another way, is a thief and a robber. Anyone who convinces you that it's okay to commit crimes to find criminality is a criminal. You cannot break into a bank looking for corruption. And when you find corruption, think, oh, okay, I broke into the bank, I found the corruption, therefore they're corrupt. What are you doing in the bank? Okay. I need to focus on this for a second because this is what affects you. Let me make this bigger. Everyone should be terrified. And I'm going to show you, as someone who knows, well, someone who was trained in government systems and databases, why this is the most dangerous thing ever. Do not get on this bandwagon of praising Elon Musk for finding corruption. This is extremely dangerous. Worst of all, they're using AI to data mine the information, and AI does not have public protocols to protect massive amounts of data as that is moving. Worst of all, the Treasury data was taken from the Treasury. The Treasury is secured front, back, up, down, horizontal, vertical, sideways. They move the data on servers out of the Treasury and were data mining it using AI. Everyone in the United States, everyone who has business relationships with the United States, every corporation, every government that has relationships with the United States should be terrified. Let me show you why you should be terrified as a citizen. If you are a citizen, if you are in the military, you are compromised. This is not a fucking win. Excuse my language, but it's not a fucking win. Exactly, Avion. Let me show you why this is not a win. And no one should be rejoicing at what Elon Musk is doing. Okay? If you are in the military doing special operations, the Treasury pays you. Do you understand that the Treasury pays you and that information was just data mined outside of the United States using AI, and unsecured AI to data mine that? Let me show you. I was trained in these things in Access. I don't use it. I haven't used it for 10 years. I was trained in Excel. I could data mine an Excel document with my eyes closed. Okay? I was one of the best in my school for this kind of stuff, not hacking, working with databases. I haven't used it in 10 years, so I'm a little bit rusty. Okay, let me show you why this is dangerous. They're focused on just your Social Security. Okay, but let me show you something. It is not just the Treasury issuing checks, like checks to soldiers, checks to Social Security. It's not just your Social Security number. In order for the Treasury to issue checks, the Treasury pulls data from other financial agencies. Are you following what I'm showing you? So in order for the Treasury to issue a check, they got to pull data from your bank. They got to pull data from other financial institutions. They got to pull data from the FBI. They're pulling data from other financial agencies. The US Treasury does not just deal with citizen money. The US Treasury also deals with money sent via programs like US aid, whether you agree with it or you don't. Let me explain what I'm saying. If US aid is a criminal enterprise, as they allege, you do not shut down the organization and then run on social media and say it's a criminal enterprise. That is not how it's done. The US aid was created by Congress, and I'm going to show you the correct way it should have been done if Elon Musk actually cared about Americans and not himself. Let me show you why and I'm making this video because I need you to protect yourself. If you have $500,000 in assets, if you have $100,000 in assets, if you have $1 million, liquid, hard, whatever, the Treasury knows. Did you just hear what I said? I'm not moving until you let me know you heard what I said. If you have millions of dollars in assets, the Treasury knows. The Treasury does not compile financial data by themselves. They pull that data from multiple different agencies and multiple different systems, and that includes your bank. If you have $100 million, the Treasury knows what you have. If you have $50, the Treasury knows. Now, everyone asks me why this is dangerous. Ask me, Renetta, why? I'm about to show you why. I'll wait. And this is the only reason why I'm making this video, to educate the people that if Elon Musk actually cared about the United States and the people of the United States, he would not be doing what he's doing. Thank you. Only 2 people want to know why. I'll wait. Thank you. Without being a hacker, and I would never do this, without being a hacker, I could go into the Treasury database now that it's breached, because these people are only telling you, oh, the Treasury only, it has your name and your Social Security. Are you fucking kidding me? The Treasury has everything on you. The Treasury, if the Treasury is dealing with money through government and non-government agencies, because the Treasury issues the check, that Treasury is pulling data from multiple organizations and agencies. Other countries are impacted by Elon Musk's actions. Let me show you why as an individual, because I need you to see how this can affect you. I could go into the system, Let's pretend like what you're watching on the screen is a system, right? Let's pretend like this is the federal system. I have the whole federal system of all the money. Okay, watch this. I'm going to create something here. I want you to take a look at this, right? I'm going to create something here really quickly. It's fake, right? Okay, social SS. Okay, last. I'm going to show you some parameters. Okay, give me a second. Let me put this in. Hold on. I'm going to show you some parameters. Just simple parameters. Just simple, right? Okay, social is 5555. Okay, yeah. Treasury number. Treasury number is 2341. Okay. And then your account. Okay. Dollar. This is just an example. Obviously, you know, I don't have this money, but I just want to show you an example. Okay. All right, let's make this bigger. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you why this is dangerous, right? So everyone can see the screen, right? Yeah, everyone sees the screen. Watch this. This is not a federal database. So I want to, watch this. I want to find everyone in the Treasury who has $500 million. I'll pull up the system. It's 500,000. Look, I just data mined the system. Did you see that? And the Treasury system, because I gave it specific parameters to search, I will pull up everyone in the Treasury system that has $500,000 because I gave it specific parameters. You see, all they tell you in the news is, oh, they just have a social security number. Okay, watch this. I'm going to type SS here. SS number. I'm abbreviating. Okay, let's go back and let's pull the parameters again. We pull up the Treasury database. Okay, and I'm going to query the database. I'm looking for social security numbers. It's not exactly like this. Boom. I just found Renetta Jones' social security number, and I found my Treasury number, and then linked to my Treasury account, I find what's in my account. Do you understand why? That's what I did. I queried the system. I queried the database. And I'm doing this on Word. I'm not even doing this on Access or other government databases. I'm just doing this on Word as an example. I queried the system using specific parameters. Okay? And I could pull up everyone. I could query the entire system with specific parameters saying, show me everyone in the United States who has $20 million. The database will pull up everyone in the United States with $20 million. Do you know now I could send out gangs? Do you know now I could send out gangs to start killing everyone with $20 million and no one would know? Do you know I could send out hitmen now to kill everyone with $20 million and no one would trace it back to violating the US Treasury. I could kill everyone in the United States. Do you know that my competitors, if I were a businessman, my competitors, their data is in the US Treasury. I could data mine that treasury for my competitors and kill them all, and no one would know it goes back to the US Treasury database. I could take out my competitors. Do you understand why you do not go and throw a monkey wrench into a government system as large as the United States without order and without a specific set of parameters, okay, which controls what you can do without causing chaos? And let me tell you something. Billionaires and trillionaires thrive on chaos because that's where they make their money. Elon Musk took the entire Treasury database and ran it outside of the US. Do you know if you work in special forces, your check that is given to you by the military, unless you're in the black, like your black budget, the check that's given to you, you know that's a Treasury check. Do you realize he just blew the cover of every American who are doing special operations overseas? Because that data was moved outside of the US Treasury. And we don't know where the hell that data is and where the hell that data went. And worst of all, they used something unsecured as AI to data mine that data. And the alternative community is saying, this is wonderful, he's finding corruption. And I'm like, do you realize that Elon Musk now has data on you? What is to stop them from hiring hitmen to kill people and steal their wealth? They can do it. Who's going to trace it back to the US Treasury? Who's going to trace it back to the US Treasury? Very little. And I'm afraid this is what I think is coming. Now let's get to how you audit a federal agency. And it is not the way Elon Musk is doing it. Let's make that clear. It is not the way Elon Musk is doing it. Now, for the sake of time, I queried ChatGPT. You're going to have to double and triple check, but the baseline is correct. Okay, so I queried ChatGPT specifically about how to legally shut down a government agency. Why is this important? It's important that I educate you that it is not just about finding corruption. You have to have specific frameworks in which you find corruption. And the reason why you have to work within a specific framework, if I'm in US aid and I'm just doing my job and I've been at US aid for 10 years and you find corruption in US aid, you shut down US aid, right? Meanwhile, I'm not involved in corruption. You just literally identified me as someone engaged in corruption because I worked in US aid. Now, I've been working at US aid for 10 years. Let's say, hypothetically, I'm not, but I say hypothetically. I have a house, I have a mortgage, I have children, I have a family, and you take that information, you run on social media and say, I found corruption in US aid. You just labeled me a criminal. I will never be able to find another job. You just labeled every secretary, every manager in USAID. You just labeled the people mopping the floors in USAID criminals. You just labeled everyone in the financial department, the accounting department, criminals. That's what you did. And then you run on social media and say, look, I found criminality. So me, who has nothing to do with crime, and I've been working at USAID for 5 years, I can't find a job because now the whole world thinks I'm a criminal. This is why what Elon Musk is doing is destroying the United States and not saving it. Let us go into the legal authority of how government agencies are shut down and who has that authority. Okay? In the United States, because we're dealing with the United States, the legal authority to shut down a government agency primarily rests with Congress and the president. They're going to say, see, the president has the legal right. Nope. I'm going to show you the parameters of a president. Right? Watch this. The power is mainly in Congress. Right? Congress holds the most significant power when it comes to shutting down or defunding federal agencies. DOGE is not Congress. DOGE is a government office, not a government agency. Okay? Government offices are under the president. It's two different things. By controlling the federal budget, Congress can reduce or eliminate funding to specific agencies or programs through appropriation bills. This was not done. Therefore, the action looks criminal. Let's continue. If Congress does not allocate funding for an agency, it may cease to operate. Legislation, that branch, the lawmakers, that branch. Okay, all right. Legislation, right? Congress can pass. Who can pass the laws? Who can pass the laws? Who passes the laws to create or eliminate agencies? It's Congress. DOGE was not created by Congress. DOGE was not funded by Congress. DOGE was not given congressional authority. This is criminal. Okay, if Congress decides to shut down an agency, watch this. Legislation must be passed to formally abolish it. Was this done? No. So how is this legal? Watch this. There has to be a political decision to eliminate the agency. Was this done? No. Congress can draft and pass a bill to do so. Was there a bill to shut down these agencies? No. Enter the president. Now watch the parameters of the president. Everyone, the three branches of government, they have what you call parameters that they can work with. This is not tyranny. You have to work within specific powers. Okay? Now, does the president have a role? Let's look at his role and look at the parameters given to him. He has the authority to propose reorganization of the executive branch, which may include elimination of agencies. But his parameter, his power, is not just unilaterally go in there and shut it down. No, 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 no. He has to propose it. Where was the proposition? Where is the legal documentation that he wanted these branches shut down? And I'm going to show you, American people, what you need to ask, because you play a role and no one consulted you. Where is the presidential proposal that he proposed to Congress to shut down all these agencies? We don't have it. How is it legal? Okay. This can be done through executive orders or reorganization plans. Okay. But you have to consult with Congress. Congress consults with governors. Okay. Because if you're cut on a federal level, the governors need to know there are cuts coming and we can fill in the gap here. Or there are cuts coming on a federal level and we can do this on a state level. This is why there's a communication that must take place between the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. And they must communicate back and forth, and then they have to communicate with the governors, governors to the mayors, mayors to city council, etc., etc. What was this done? So while these people are jumping up and down and praising Elon Musk for finding corruption, oh, he found corruption. Let me show you why this is illegal. Because you going on social media and saying you found corruption in U.S. aid jeopardizes the tens of thousands of people working in U.S. aid by labeling them privy to criminal behavior. You just ruined a lot of innocent people's lives. And this is why you don't do things like this. You think those people in U.S. aid could go find jobs anywhere? What about the children of the people working in U.S. aid who had no sort of corruption, who were not engaged in corruption while working at U.S. aid? You just destroyed their lives and their children's lives because the whole world now thinks everyone in U.S. aid is a criminal. Now, what about those people working in U.S. aid who have a mortgage? Elon Musk, are you going to pay for their mortgage? Because you took data and instead of letting an investigation go through, you get the audits, you find out who the criminals are, you just blanketed an entire organization. Are you going to pay their mortgages or their rent? Because now they're out of work and you just labeled all of them privy to criminal behavior. When you're shutting down government agencies, I'm going to show you something that has to be done. Now watch this. So the president proposes, okay, and you can do this through executive orders and reorganization. The president also has the right to recommend. Where were the recommendations by the president? There was none. And the recommendation should be public for the US citizens to read on the .gov website. There's none. Watch this. The president cannot unilaterally, let me repeat, the president cannot, meaning, I don't like this agency, I abolish it. That's called a dictatorship. Thank you, Zuri. The president cannot unilaterally shut down a government agency without congressional approval. Where was the approval? Unless the agency was created by executive order. Watch this. And its elimination is within the scope of executive powers. Let me explain. DOGE can be shut down by the president because DOGE was created by the president for the executive branch. Not USAID, not the FBI, not the CIA. None, not the Treasury. None, 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 none. It is illegal. Okay? Let me show you. Let me show you why it's illegal. And let me show you why things must be done in an orderly manner. You need oversight and investigations. Where was this done? If I am a secretary at USAID, you find corruption in USAID, no investigation was done, no congressional hearing, no oversight, no audits, no sitting down with people in the agency to identify where this corruption is. You blanketed an entire organization and said they're all corrupt and then posted it on social media. So now, me, a secretary in USAID, is looked upon as a criminal. Worst of all, I'm looked upon as a criminal in 200 plus countries because of your violations and working outside the scope of how agencies must be audited, investigated. There must be oversight. There must be, you sit down with people in the organization, you get affidavits written, videotaped, or audio. Where are the affidavits coming from any of these agencies about the corruption they saw that led to this? There is none. You do not just go in and shut down a government agency. You have to investigate, you have to audit. It was not done. How the hell are people cheering for this? And you know me, I'm the biggest proponent of running from the US government. But I'm not stupid. You do not destroy a government this big like this with all the enemies America made. I'm not stupid. The US government has a lot of enemies for a lot of shit. And you doing this like this leaves this entire country and its people vulnerable, not safe. This is why things must be done in an orderly manner. None of those agencies were given time to restructure. None of those agencies, we don't know if there were investigations. Where's the oversight? Where's the congressional hearings? There was none. So how is this legal? How is this making you as an American safe? Knowing that Elon Musk, a technocrat with a bunch of children, data mined your information using an unsecure technology, AI, to run the data out of government servers to God knows where, and we're winning? Let's continue. The judiciary, as you know, there are 3 branches, can order a government agency to cease actions or be shut down if it is found to be acting unlawfully and unconstitutionally. Let me ask you a question. Where was the judiciary? If these departments are corrupt, where did you appeal to the judiciary to shut it down? He is more than aware, sis. No, you did not. So how are you cheering this? And people, agents in the alternative media are jumping up and down and saying, we won. Are you crazy? You just set this country up to be attacked. Not just this country, individual American citizens. We don't know who has the Treasury information. I told you, or if I can show you, I could data mine an Excel document. You think I can data mine the US Treasury and find people to be taken out? No one would know it's me. I could data mine the US Treasury, find everyone who's making $20 million, kill them all, and seize the money. You wouldn't know I did it. And you would know I did it using information from the Treasury. How is this a win? Okay, now let's go in really quickly into the sections. Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution. Okay, Congress has the power of the purse. Only Congress can allocate funding to federal agencies. Watch this. Without funding, an agency cannot operate. Congress funded them. Without funding, an agency cannot operate. Congress funded them. This is the primary tool Congress uses to defund or shut down agencies, the purse. Congress funded them. Article 2, Section 2 gives the president the authority. Watch this. Let me show you what his parameters and his powers are. Manage the executive branch. Watch this. He has the power to reorganize. Notice he doesn't have the power to shut down. Any major changes has to go through Congress. It's right there. It's right there. Okay. OMB, Office of Management and Budget, was established by this act, the Budget and Accounting Act. Watch as Congress can, through appropriation, legislation, meaning you have to use the law. Okay. Choose to eliminate funding for specific agencies, effectively shutting them down. Once again, the budget, the act you reference to shut down a federal agency, you have the US Constitution, you have the Budget and Accounting Act of 1921. These are the parameters. It's still Congress in control. And then you have the Office of Management and Budgetment. It was established and is responsible for overseeing the execution of the federal budget and coordinating requests for reorganizations and funding. Okay, the Reorganization Act. I know this is boring, but you have to know this because it is within your legal right. You have to know this because it's part of your rights as a US citizen. How the proper way in which your government should function, and it's not gangsterism. Okay, the Reorganization Act provides the president with limited power to structure the executive branch that's under him, that's including and merging or eliminating agencies. Limited power. Watch this. If he's going to make any big structural changes, watch this, he has to submit reorganization plans that Congress can approve or reject. Where's the paperwork? Did anyone see the paperwork submitted to Congress for him to reorganize, restructure, shut down any of these agencies? He has to submit it to Congress, and Congress could approve or reject. Did anyone see any paperwork? I know this is boring, but you better pay attention because this will and is going to affect you for years to come. Consider the Treasury database obsolete. It is obsolete, meaning it cannot be used again. Watch this. This is the part that's very important. What are the parts? The law provides a framework for the president to propose changes in government organization and performance. This is the Government Reorganization and Program Performance Improvement Act of 2002. Did he do this? No. So how is this legal? He had the power to provide a framework to change these agencies. He still had power, but he applied none of it. How is this winning America? Okay, then we get to executive orders. Let's look at the parameters of the power under executive order. Issued by the president have been used to propose the reorganization or closure of certain federal agencies or functions, right? But watch this. These orders are legally binding unless overturned by Congress or found unconstitutional by the judiciary. Wait, hold on. So he could sign any executive order he wants. Yeah, but Congress could overturn it and the judiciary could say, hey, this is unconstitutional. Well done, Katie. You following? This is what's called shared power. Okay, so Executive Order 13781, issued by President Trump in 2017, instructed agencies to develop plans for reorganizing the federal government and improving efficiency, potentially leading to the elimination of some of the agency's programs. So we have here in Executive Order 13781, where he said this before, but he's still going about it in a gangster way. Then we have the Appropriations Act. You can search all of these things. Okay, you have the Federal Agencies and Administrative Procedure Act. Governs how agencies propose because they have rights too. You realize that federal agencies have rights too. And I'm going to show you something very powerful that's in the Federal Agencies and Administrative Procedure Act. Okay? The government cannot just come and say, fuck this goddamn agency, I'm shutting it down. Let me show you the rights that federal agencies have. And let me show you where you play a powerful role if your life depends on a federal agency. Okay? All right, so the APA 5 U.S.C. sections 551-599 governs how agencies propose and reinforce regulations, right? It primarily covers rulemaking processes, right? Agencies must also comply with the law when reorganizing or closing, meaning you got to comply with the law. Watch this. Let me show you. Let me show you why they cannot just shut down an agency, especially if that agency is dealing with the public. Okay, so they must comply with the law. What are parts of the law? You got to provide a notice. Did they provide a notice? No. Did they provide a notice they were going to shut down these agencies? They didn't. They just kicked the door in and shut them down and ran away with the information. And this is a win. You know me. I'm always complaining about the government. But that doesn't mean I want gangsters in the government. I want less gangsters, not more. Now watch this. Public comment. Do you know you cannot shut down a government agency without asking the public their opinion? It's part of the law. So how are they winning? You cannot just shut down a government agency without public comment. And no, you can't say on the election trail, people were saying shut down the government and close down agencies. No, that's government gangsterism. You have to give the public time to comment on each particular agency you shut down. They're going to have to open them all back up because it is criminal what was done. It is not getting to the finish line. It is how you get there. I won, but I shot everyone who was my competitor coming to the finish line. It is not getting to the finish line. It is how you get there. And these are the rules of engagement. Watch this. Watch this. Let me show you the rights, your rights, American people, because this is a part of the law. And the transparent process for certain decisions. Do you understand what this means? It means that no government, no part of the government can move to shut down a government agency and make the decision in private. It is criminal. I'll look up the Chevron doctrine. Let me say this again. You cannot unilaterally make a decision to shut down any agencies without the public commenting on it, without putting out a notice that it's going to be shut down, without Congress legislating on it and defunding it, without the judiciary having a say in the process. And it cannot be done in private. This is called gangsterism. And we should not be rejoicing being ruled by gangsters. Why do I say this? If you do not take this seriously, you are leaving America open to woes. Let me repeat myself. Whenever a government is destabilized, it never goes back to freedom. It goes deeper into tyranny. This is why, if you're going to shake up these agencies, it must be done within the framework of the law. The process must be documented on government websites for the public to participate in. There must be public notices. They must go through the legislative process. They must be investigated, properly audited. People must be investigated in the agency. You cannot find corruption in the government and post it on social media. That is not how you deal with this. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I know where stuff like this leads. It leads to tyranny. I wanted to get into the last part. Let's look at the character of the savior, Elon Musk. Because Elon Musk is so righteous. Elon Musk is so holy. Elon Musk is so wonderful that he should be tasked with finding corruption in the US government. Elon Musk and child slave labor in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So you're trying to convince me that I, who runs slave labor camps in Africa, in mines where children have been maimed, killed, destroyed, they're not paid, going into these mines. He runs child slave labor camps. He is righteous to find corruption in the US government. That's what you're telling me. US aid is corrupt, but African child slave labor is not. It's holy. Correct? Elon Musk. Elon Musk and Starlink Sudan is literally in a war for its life for 40 years. Millions have been slaughtered. Elon Musk wants to shut down Starlink and cut off communications while people in Sudan are being butchered. This is the man. This man is the man who's righteous to deal with corruption in the US government. Correct? Correct. He's righteous and holy to root out corruption in the US government, but he's so righteous that he's cutting off communications in Sudan so people can be butchered and killed. And humanitarian aid cannot go through. Elon Musk. We're looking at his character based upon his actions. I'm just looking at his actions, right? Let's get to Twitter. Twitter, before Elon Musk bought it, was a hub for child porn. Child porn. Elon Musk, when he took over Twitter, he created an in-house software to find and shut down child porn. If you read the article about the people who monitor child porn, especially Twitter, because Twitter is the #1 hub for child porn, they said it is worse under Elon Musk. They said that the software that Elon Musk created, in-house software, to curtail the child porn, they said it's still there and it's still rampant. This is the man who is so holy and so righteous. He is the savior that will save the US from corruption. How come he didn't start with the corruption in Twitter? How come he didn't start by rooting out the child porn on Twitter? But he's holy to deal with the corruption in the US government. Let's continue. Okay, this is the SEC lawsuit, Securities and Exchange Commission, and they just did a pop-up, so now I can't read the article, and I'm not putting in my email. Basically, Elon Musk tried to pump Tesla stock up to $420 so that investors would buy the stock. And the SEC came after him because they're like, you're using Twitter to push up the price of your stock to get investors to pump money into the stock. This is the man who's the savior of the conservatives. And he's going to root out corruption. By the way, he ran away with all the information from the US Treasury. This man. The SEC sued his ass into the ground. Let's continue. Okay. This was Elon Musk being accused of the same thing. The case, I must let you know that the case was, hold on. I have to let you know that the case was eventually thrown out because they couldn't prove that he was doing this. Doesn't mean he didn't do it. They said the courts cannot prove that he was using Twitter to pump Dogecoin, to get people to invest in Dogecoin and then pump and dump. This is the man who conservatives on the right telling you is going to save the US government from corruption. Huh? This is the man. I pumped and dumped Dogecoin then created a fictitious government agency to get access to US government databases to find corruption. That's what I'm doing. I'm finding corruption. No, you are corrupt. And he ran away with all your information using an unsecured data mining technology. AI. There's no fucking security with your information with artificial intelligence. None. But that's the man that's saving MAGA, saving the United States. Let's continue. We're only looking at character. When Jeffrey Epstein was above ground, because he's still alive, Jeffrey Epstein claimed, this is a claim, Jeffrey Epstein claimed he was a crisis manager for Elon Musk and Tesla. But this is a claim. Okay, can't be proven. It's a claim, right? But I thought it was worth noting. By the way, even though it was a claim, this is Elon Musk and Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay, taking a picture together. Well, maybe they don't know each other. Okay, maybe they just took a picture at a party. Okay. Okay, Elon Musk and Palantir. I want to read this one because this one is important. You need to know who Palantir is. And the wonderful Elon Musk, he's coming to save you. Okay, all of a sudden it's not moving. Okay, I'm moving too fast. Okay, I gotta read this because this is important, right? There are parts of it. I just want to read the top part. Let me make this bigger so you can see. Elon Musk and Palantir are very close. Okay, let me show you why this is scary that Elon Musk now has access to all your information. The screams of babies as buildings collapse in Gaza, terrified parents carrying the remains of their children away in plastic carrier bags. These scenes altogether too familiar today, come enabled by German-American tech billionaire Peter Thiel and his company Palantir, whose software uses AI and big data to help Israel surveil, target, and slaughter hundreds of thousands of Palestinians. Palantir is used by ICE, the FBI, US law enforcement. Okay. Tag, track, and ID, they're using AI to mass murder Palestinians. Elon Musk is deeply embedded with Palantir. This man now has your information from the Treasury. What the hell do you think he's going to do with this information? There's nobody else here? Only Isaac, because I'm only seeing Isaac. Isaac is the only one that's leaving a comment. Thank you, Isaac. Okay. And yes, I have always said Elon Musk is using Twitter to create a conservative hive. Okay. Elon Musk is in bed with Peter Thiel, with Palantir. And Palantir is the AI software being used to exterminate Palestinians. Okay. Let's continue. But don't worry, he's here to save you. Elon Musk, I gotta read this one for you because this one is one of the most important ones I have to read. You know, now all of a sudden I can't even find my look at this. Okay, hold on. Yeah. This one is really important. Okay. Elon Musk and mRNA. Okay. Elon Musk and mRNA. Another ringing endorsement of mRNA technology by Elon Musk. Elon Musk said synthetic mRNA is basically digital medicine with incredible potential. Let me make this bigger. But there's parts of this that I have to read to you, okay? Okay, so Elon Musk is in bed with Germany's mRNA project with CureVac, okay? CureVac is set to produce RNA printers, an automated system for manufacturing mRNA and mRNA-based drugs, okay? Okay, the patent application for the machines was jointly filed by CureVac and Tesla's German subsidiary, Tesla Groman Automation, can be seen here. CureVac is Germany's other mRNA company like BioNTech, whose COVID-19 vaccines has been earmarked by Pfizer in most of the world, and the two German companies, American rival Moderna. CureVac was also in the running to produce COVID-19 vaccines. But let me show you. Okay, watch this. Elon Musk first flagged his support. This is the most important. Listen to this. Elon Musk first flagged his support for what he enthusiastically styled the mRNA revolution in 2023, admitting that the dose in COVID vaccines had been too high, but expressing confidence that synthetic mRNA would be the surest path to curing cancer. Anyone tell me why this is important to know now? Remember Project Stargate? What did Larry Ellison say they were going to cure with your blood using Project Stargate AI data centers? Cancer. Listen, Elon Musk, the savior. Elon Musk, the savior of the conservatives, because he's rooting out corruption. In response, I noted that his tweet amounting to shilling for BioNTech. After all, the mRNA dose in the BioNTech vaccine was less than 1/3 of that in Moderna vaccine. And furthermore, curing cancer had been in BioNTech's ambition from the start. BioNTech was a cancer treatment company. So Elon Musk's company, okay, with the German equivalent, CureVac, was going to use synthetic mRNA to cure cancer, and that is exactly what Larry Ellison said Project Stargate was about. But don't worry, he's coming to save you. Let's look at his history. Oh no, that wasn't a Nazi salute. Elon Musk and the Nazi faction that's in South Africa. Okay? Elon Musk, that's a part of the Nazi faction in the Western Cape, and they have been trying to create a Nazi state in Southern Africa. And I told you guys this over 10 years ago, that they have been trying to create a Nazi state in South Africa so they can exterminate blacks in the southern part of Africa and take it from Namibia down. Okay. All right, let me get here. Okay. Musk is part of the PayPal mafia. That's what they call it. Libertarian billionaires with roots in South Africa under white rule, now hugely influential in the US tech industry and politics. Watch this. Peter Thiel. That's Palantir. The German-born billionaire venture capitalist and PayPal co-founder who was educated in the South African city in the 70s where Hitler was still openly venerated. Now do you see why the truther community is glorifying Hitler because they knew their saviors were Nazis. They had to glorify Hitler in order to acclimate you when you discover Elon Musk and Peter Thiel, they're all Nazis. And they're South African Nazis. They're not African. They were born in South Africa in a Nazi territory on the Western Cape. And I told you about their plans years ago to create a Nazi state in South Africa and wipe out all the blacks from Namibia down. Told you about that years ago. Peter Thiel, a major donor to Trump's campaign, has been critical of welfare programs and women being permitted to vote. Peter Thiel does not like women voting. Called the contrarian, alleged that as a student at Stanford, he defended apartheid as economically sound. Peter Thiel, who's exterminating Gazans, and Elon Musk, your Lord and Savior, cleaning up the US government from corruption. Okay, David Sachs, formerly PayPal's chief operating officer and now leading fundraiser for Trump, was also born in Cape Town, in South Africa. A fourth member of the mafia, Roloff Botha, grandson of the apartheid regime last foreign minister, Botha. All of them are in Trump's administration. Okay, hold on. Some draw a straight line between Musk's formative years atop a complex system of racial hierarchy as a white male in a country increasingly at war with itself as South African government became more and more repressive as resistance to apartheid grew. That's Trump's right-hand man, a South African Nazi. The week before the inauguration, Steve Bannon, Trump's former advisor, described the white South African as the most racist people on earth, questioned their involvement in US politics, and said Musk was a malign influence who should go back to his country of birth. Okay, but for those looking to join dots, there is fodder from Musk's early life with neo-Nazi grandfather, who moved to Canada, from Canada to South Africa, because he loved apartheid. This is the savior. Musk's formative years in the 80s came amid a cauldron of rebellion in the black townships. These are not townships. These are concentration camps created both by the Dutch and then by the British. Anyone can go read how the whites in South Africa got the land. It's called South Africa Land Laws. It shows you 200 years of the British. Prior to that, it shows you, well, these are Boers. The Boers and the British basically rounding black people up, exterminating a large percentage of them, and then putting them in concentration camps and then banning them from leaving. Oh, 50-minute city. And the only way blacks could leave, and what they did, they got all of the farmland. They ran blacks off of the farmland, put them in concentration camps, built walls around them, no electricity, no running water. Still today, still like that. Banned them from leaving and said in order to leave, you can only leave for work. And after work, you have to go back to the townships. They're not townships, they're concentration camps. 200 years later, there are concentration camps in South Africa. They just changed the name. Townships. They're not townships. They're concentration camps. Elon Musk, your savior. Let's continue. All right, which drew a state of emergency and a bloody crackdown by state. Whites fled the country. The whites went to Israel when they fled because the Europeans said, hell no, you are way too radical. The Europeans turned back the whites who fled South Africa. You know who took them in? Israel. Let me tell you what Elon Musk was a part of. Others marched with the neo-Nazi Afrikaner resistance movement against any weakening of apartheid, and the Afrikaner and the Boers are still there, and they still control 90% of the land. And you can go read the land laws of South Africa yourself. You will literally see them every year stealing the land, killing off Black people, and then putting the rest into concentration camps. It's right there in the land laws. I read it. And literally barring them from society. 15-minute cities did not come from nowhere. 15-minute cities were tested on Namibia. They were tested on what was formerly known as Rhodesia. I will never use that term. Zimbabwe is the correct name. 15-minute cities were used in Southern Africa. They were tested there. They're called concentration camps. And they're 200 years old. It's right there. You can go look it up at South African land laws. I read it. It shows you step by step by step how they stole the land from Black people, ran them off the farmland, killed off the majority of Black people, and then dropped the rest into concentration camp, built a wall, and banned them from leaving. 15-minute cities. And the only way they could leave is if they showed their paperwork. They're still operational 200 years later. This is where Elon Musk and Peter Thiel comes from. When they tried to run, when apartheid fell and the whites tried to go back to Europe, the European government said, hell no. You know who took them in? Israel. But the truthers won't tell you this. South Africa, into which Musk was born, 71, and to which Peter Thiel moved as a child from Germany, was led by Vorster, who had been a general in a fascist militia 3 decades earlier, allied with Hitler, the savior of the United States, who is rooting out corruption. Okay. The Osewa Brandewag, or Osewa Brandewag, was founded shortly before the Second World War. It opposed South Africa entering the war as an ally of Britain and plotted with German military intelligence to assassinate the Prime Minister Smuts. Vorster made no secret of his sympathy for Nazi National Socialist ideology, watch this, which he compared to the Afrikaner political philosophy of Christian nationalism. This is the Christian truth movement right there. And that is why the leaders of the Christian nationalist movement in the United States on social media always say Hitler wasn't a bad guy. I say, hold on. I'm supposed to ignore my friends who were kidnapped by the Nazis, taken underground, saw these people murder children in these underground bases. And because you said Hitler was a good guy, I'm supposed to believe you? It's these truthers. They have a right to say whatever they want. But these truthers are pushing Christian nationalism, but the philosophy comes from Afrikaner political philosophy of Christian nationalism. It has nothing to do with Christianity. It is Nazism. And that is why they also push Hitler was a great guy. Let me tell you something. I know people who were experimented on Dr. Green after he was brought to the United States, and they were taken underground, and they told me they saw them kill tens of thousands of Black and brown children and threw them away like rag dolls. They either had them eaten by dogs or they just discarded the body to rot. This is the Christian Truther movement. It is Nazi Afrikaner philosophy. That's where it comes from. And this is why the Christian Truther movement sides with Musk. Huh? Let's continue. We're almost done. Okay. Nazism may have been defeated. That's a lie. But Christian nationalism, that's not. was alive and kicking in South Africa under Vorster, with its own branch of racial classification and stratification justified by the need to keep the Swart Gevaar, black danger, at bay. And this is why when you listen to these truthers, they always, oh my God, Trump comes in, guts the FAA, a plane crashes, it's a black, lesbian, LGBTQ. And Hitler was not a bad guy. You know why? Because they're put there to turn you into a Christian nationalist. But not just a Christian nationalist. Under Nazism, but a specific type of Nazism, which is the Afrikaner Christian Nazism. Because the white Nazis, and I'm like, you don't like black people. So why the fuck would you build a Nazi kingdom on African land? Build it in Europe. No, you want to build a Nazi stronghold on black land. What do you think they're planning? Extermination. I told you guys this in one of my first interviews when I started to speak out. And this is what they're radicalizing Christians in America to do. Now, I have shown you. And they all lie and say, they're coming to kill white people. They're coming to kill white people. The only white people being exterminated, and I have denounced this, are white people in Ukraine. But let us look. I showed you. I showed you Sudan, they're being exterminated. I showed you Congo, where the Congolese are slaves. Okay, Elon Musk has slave mines in Congo. His father made his fortune off of black people slaving in the emerald mines. And this is the savior of the Christian community. I showed you the extermination of Sudanese people by Elon Musk and his gang, the extermination and enslavement of the Congolese by Elon Musk and his gang. And now they're gearing up to kill the people in South Africa, while white Christians in America claim that the Africans are killing whites. Okay, I'm showing you them actually killing people. And then these truthers say, oh, there's a plan to kill whites, but I'm showing you them actually killing black people and killing Palestinian people. Okay, their ideology did not come out of nowhere. It came from here. Nazism, but South African apartheid Nazism. Okay. And this is the man tasked with cleaning up government corruption. Now do you understand why I call it Department of Government Extermination? Because I'm not stupid. I know what these people are. And they're eugenicists that will kill you if you don't keep your eyes open. Okay, so we're going to end this for now. Hold on. We are done. Hold on. Let's stop presenting. Stop screen. Okay. Did everyone learn today? The most important thing I want to teach everyone is that we do not have a truther movement. Let me say that again. There is no truther movement. The so-called Christian truther movement are led by Afrikaner apartheid Nazis. And they are in the Trump administration. I am not joking. I showed you. And what's unique about them is that they're technocrats. I also showed you these truthers claim that, oh, they're coming to kill white people. I am actually showing you they're exterminating black people. In Sudan, Trump just bombed Somalia, in Congo, etc., etc. Okay, they are actually exterminating black people. They're not coming to do it, they're doing it. Okay, they turned Haiti into a lab. They have been experimenting and disappearing the Haitian people. I do not want white people to be exterminated nor killed. But when I hear these agents of the Nazis, because that's what they are, because they all worship Hitler, they all claim Hitler was a great guy. When I hear these agents of the Nazis, I know where they're coming from, right? Talk about they're coming to kill white people. The difference is there's only one group right now in Europe who are being killed, and it is wrong, and it's not black people doing it. But I can show you all across this planet, black people being killed and exterminated who never did anything to anyone except exist. And it's being done by this group. And they are the right hand of Trump. Okay. I'm not making this about black or white because I do believe that if we're not careful, this is not about black or white. These people are exterminators. And most importantly, they want your money. This is why they went after the Treasury. And this is why I'm making this video to educate people that I believe with all my heart, they're going to sell that data to data brokers and people are going to be put on hit lists. You see a plane crash, you're not going to realize two people on that plane was worth 100 million. Now they get the 100 million, no one would ever know. You see a news report that some guy got killed, the guy's worth 50 million. They got the data from the US Treasury. They are going to create hit lists with that Treasury data. And they're going to kill people and they're going to seize their assets. This is not a win. This is government gangsterism. So be aware. I look back now. And I've been asking myself, why didn't the US government compensate me and compensate Melinda when they agreed to compensate us? Now that I see what's going on, I would have been put right back on one of these lists to be killed. Okay. Yeah. Zuri, you got it. You following? This is not about black and white. They're going to kill people on that list, people. Don't be stupid and don't be naive. They're not going after government corruption. They're going to kill people with assets they want. And then they take the assets and the banks take the assets. The bank seizes the assets. The government seizes the assets. Where's the money going? The money's supposed to go back to Treasury. But how the fuck could the money go back to Treasury when Elon Musk seized the Treasury? Come on, people. When you shut down a government agency, the money's supposed to go back to the Treasury. How is it going back to the Treasury and he seized it? You get it? They're going to kill people on those lists. Everyone with assets they want on that list, they're going to start killing them to the point when it becomes apparent, hey, wait, hold on. They're killing people. Then they're just going to switch tactics. You're not dealing with government corruption. You're sealing government corruption in behind closed doors. These billionaires and these bankers want those assets, and they just found a way to do it. They got control of the US Treasury. I'm going to say this again, and this is the last time I'll say this. I said, why hasn't the US government compensated me and compensated Melinda? When I saw this play by Elon Musk and these technocrats, I said, Jesus Christ, we would have been targeted to be killed and those assets stolen. Because that's what's coming. Okay? All right, guys. I know this was kind of boring because it went into government documentation and this and that and the other. But the reason why I had to do this, I had to educate you on the correct way in which a government agency is supposed to be investigated, audited, and shut down. So now no one can come and tell you we're winning. You're like, now you're educated on how a government is supposed to be shut down. Do not follow the masses on social media. They are hived. Zuri, I believe that with all my heart. When I saw that move against the Treasury, I said, Jesus Christ. I said, Melinda and I would have been on that Treasury data. And I said, God knows where that data went. And they could have easily taken us out and taken that money. Okay? Right? We would have been put right back on a fucking hit list. Because let me tell you something. They don't have to use big tech guys to take people out. 9 times out of 10, they use low-level people to kill people and take them out and make it look like a crime. Then they seize the assets. That's how you do it. You seize the Treasury. You go after the Treasury, you go after the IRS. Okay? That's how you do it. So people, sometimes you just got to thank God that you're not rich. Okay? So they're going after the lowest rung, the immigrants, because no one cares about them. Meanwhile, you're getting rid of the immigrants, and farmers have no one to pick the fruits and vegetables. So you're going into starving. Meanwhile, let me tell you guys something. Listen to me carefully. If you have any family members that need a job and they need a job right away, and you know you can get 5 or 6 of you, go to a farmer. Go to a farmer, because the farmers don't have workers. They're all terrified. The workers are all terrified to go to work because of the ice raid. 5 or 6 of you, or even 4 of you, go to a farmer and negotiate with the farmer. Hey, we'll pick the cotton, we'll pick the fruits and vegetables, not cotton, fruits and vegetables. If you pay us $20 an hour, 9 times out of 10, they'll pay you. Okay? And it's a seasonal job. And you can make a hell of a lot of money. So listen, the farmers are complaining because of Trump's policy. The people who pick the cotton are I keep saying cotton. The people who pick the fruits and vegetables are too terrified to work. The fruits and vegetables are rotting. You have states like, well, those are mainly 4, but you have states like Oregon, Washington, California, Florida. Listen, this is an opportunity to step in. Go to the farmer, negotiate. Hey, listen, we'll do it for $20 an hour. It's 4 of us. I guarantee you he'd pay you the $20 an hour. Do the work, get the money. Okay? Think about it. All right? So guys, love you. Think about what I said. The reason I know this live was boring, but you need to know your rights, and you need to know the proper process of how a government an agency should be shut down. Anything else, you're dealing with gangsters, honey. Okay? You're dealing with tyranny, a dictatorship, and government gangsterism. Now, remember, this man has your data, and they have Terminator AIs. He's friends with Peter Thiel, and Peter Thiel has the Terminator AIs. 1 + 1 is 2. The government data of the people with all the wealth, Peter Thiel with the Terminator AI. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to start killing people. People, be aware, be alert. Stop following the hive. You're much smarter than that. Use your brains, love yourself, ask God for wisdom. Love you guys, love each other. Peace out. Bye.